Welcome everyone to my hostel room about 36 hours after I left you on top of Cerro Chirripó. Where to begin other than where I left off? Yeah, I made it to the top. Fantastic. Probably used all my energy making it to the top as well. So it was an incredible feeling getting to the top and having that amazing view. But probably what the cameras don't show you is the fact that I stayed up there for almost an hour and a half. So I was just so physically exhausted. I was done. I just dropped to the floor after I took my footage. I dropped to the floor. I put on as much clothing as possible, put on new socks, and I just tried to sleep. But it was so cold up there, freezing, and like people were checking to see if I was okay. I'm like, I'm fine. I just need to try and sleep. I couldn't sleep. It was so cold up there, and didn't have a sleeping bag or anything like that. So I went, okay, come on, it's 7 o'clock. It's time to go back. Getting up was hard. Going down was probably more difficult, and this is where proper hiking boots would have came in handy. Okay. My shoes were soaking, so they were slippery, meaning I had to take it very slowly going down. And I was feeling the effects of having twisted my ankle at the start of that hike as well, or I think it was the middle, I can't remember now. So I went down really slowly on my own because everyone else had gone, because I was just, being lazy, I suppose. Anyway, the first 5 kilometers to the first base camp, Raphael was waiting for me. So it was Raphael and it was Eduardo. They were the two people that helped me up there. Raphael was waiting for me and he went, "Come on, James, time to go on the next hike." I just looked at him like, no, absolutely no way. And I just put my head on the table and I don't know, I was just spent. The thought of going an extra 15 kilometers after that was just unbearable. So luckily for the next 8 kilometers I had Raphael to encourage me, and he was great. He kept me upbeat. But then he left me because I needed another coffee. I needed another coffee and some chocolate and a Gatorade because I was dying. So he went off and did his own thing, and I went to the last shelter, which I believe was 7 kilometers in from the start. And I am not exaggerating when I say this. I was so physically tired. My body was so sore. My shoulders from carrying the bag, my legs, my feet, my everything. I just couldn't function. He put the coffee on the table for me. I couldn't even lift it off. And I'm like, what is going on? Everyone was laughing at me, of course they were. And I definitely saw the funny side. So I didn't just have one coffee, I had two. And for the remaining 7 kilometers back, the first four I was quite upbeat from the high of the coffee, I suppose, and the experience, and having conquered something so incredible. But then it wore off a little bit because the rain started coming. So I did tell you that rain would come, and it did. It was torrential. It was bouncing off me. Didn't mind so much. I had the waterproof, so finally I put it to good use. The only problem was the rain was so bad it was like a waterfall beneath my feet. So trying to make my way down the path, down a waterfall in my Vans, my Nike shoes, whatever, was just so difficult. I didn't fall over or anything, but I had to go so slow. So I worked out that it took me about 9 hours to get back. It took me 7 hours, 20 minutes to summit. It took me 9 hours to get back because that's how careful I was being and how tired I was. And for the remaining 3 kilometers, I was absolutely certain throughout all of it, I suppose, that I was closing in on the end. And then I'd recognise something, so I took a lot of footage at the start of the hike, and I'd recognise something, and I knew it was like 2 hours into it from the start of the footage, and it was so demoralising. And I'm like, oh, this is never, ever going to end. And anyway, I thought I'd make it out the forest, and I'm like, okay, I'm on the final bit now, and then more forest would come. It was just cruel, so cruel. And it was continuing raining, and then there was the anxiety of my bike maybe not being there, and yeah, it was a relief when I saw the end and I saw my bike there, and I got back to the hostel, and people were so surprised to see me back there. And yeah, it was it was an experience, definitely. And I mentioned at the start of the video that these people, you know, hopefully I inspired them. I've done more than that, so they're actually going to go today. And they said if I can do it in my vans there, they can do it. And yeah, I'm gonna give them a lift up there today, and hopefully they can summit as well. So yeah, to summarise it all, what an incredible experience. I would never do that again. I am proud to say that I have done all I can with Cerro Chirripó. The next step is to do a higher mountain. The ultimate aim is to do Mount Everest, I suppose. Do I feel like doing it tomorrow? Absolutely not. In a couple of years, who knows? We can see what happens on that one.